Hi everyone, it's Sally here, and I just finished 2 new journals, and I'm going to do a flip through of each one, but I think I'm just going to do one at a time. So I'm going to start with this one. It's called Memory Room, and this is a book cover from a book by Don Blanding, and I have several of his books that I've picked up at thrift stores here and there, and so I like the covers of them. They're very interesting, and I've already done a journal on one of them. And this is the second. So this journal has 2 signatures, and it has a hidden binding and an elastic closure. This is just stretch lace, which I put back here at the back. So just a couple of holes, and a vintage button. I like that button. And then I did make a little charm for it. Has this little frame thing that was a tag for something. I put a couple pictures on it. A key, because there's a key on the cover. A little heart and a little symbol there. Blue crystal. Memory Room makes me think of recording your memories, and that's why I thought this would make a nice journal for someone to write about their memories. So I'm just going to check and see if I'm in frame. Okay, that's pretty good. So I covered the inside with some of my vintage wallpaper. I really love the design on this one. It was old, but this is a good use for it. It is fragile, but it's very well adhered. And then the binding is attached to this piece of cloth, which I've used before. I love that pattern. And same in the back. And then there's actually a piece of heavier manila file folder also behind the fabric, so it's stitched through both of those, so that makes it pretty strong. So the first signature starts with a piece of handmade paper from Nepal. It's some of that Lakta paper, which I have a lot of it, so I'm using it up. And I did make a little pocket here with some extra fabric or material paper stitched on, and just a little journaling card. I got this from my friend Pam. Thank you, Pam. And so some journaling space here, and one of those Tim Holtz photo booth pictures stitched together. And another cluster here with a little paper flower and a sticker, and some spray ink on what do you call it? You know, Atlas. Thank you. Atlas paper. This is some more of that wallpaper. Love it. And here's a little tag. It's collaged with some Tim Holtz people on the cover. And this is a piece of an old greeting card that I put on the back. Tea-stained paper and stamping. A little cluster I made. This one is, I got this book that has a whole bunch of like curtains in it, and they're really pretty and colorful. So that's one of the curtains with eyes from an ad that I cut out of an old magazine, and a butterfly. Jelly print paper. Here I stitched a little ruffle on. This is actually, it was a big sheet of paper I had. It's not really paper, it's something stronger, but thin. And it's actually a star chart, so you could hold it up to the sky and compare it with the sky to identify stars. So I just like the feel of the paper. And we have a pocket with an old postcard. I'm pretty sure I got this one from Dee. Thanks, Dee. She's always sharing her things. I appreciate it so much. It's a beautiful old postcard. This little tuck spot also lifts up on the corner, so yeah, there's writing space there. And here's a little tuck spot. This is some vellum paper and a little picture from a children's book. Just a simple little journaling tag. This is a page. I put a few pages from a sewing manual, which I thought had some interesting drawings in it. Another photo. This one of a couple. It says December 1930. Nice looking couple with a little collaged pocket made from a bus ticket and a picture from an old book. Then this folds out. It's actually ledger paper from 1904. Very sturdy though. It's nice quality paper. Some vellum and wrapping paper. The stitched pocket with a couple of art prints. So I kind of was leaning towards blue in this journal because of the cover being blue. So I used a lot of my blue stuff. I like this little corner tuck spot here. It's stitched and it has a journaling card I got from Pam. I just sewed some tea stain paper on the back. And here's some tea stained parchment. This is actually an illustration from another old book. It has this little overlay, which was part of the book, and then a line from the story, and then this picture, which is attached like that. But had a nice blank back, and you could also write underneath the picture. This is a page from an old yearbook, 1937, I believe. It's nice writing paper. And some sheet music with a fussy cut flower. This is, I think it's Honky Tonk Women by the Rolling Stones. And some handmade paper that's very strong and it's very lightweight. It's kind of fun to use it. Some stationery. Another little cluster. Some stamping. This stamp is from Darkroom Door. They really make some interesting stamps. I like their stuff. And I think I ordered it from Top Flight Stamps. I just looked it up recently, so pretty sure that's right. This is wrapping paper that was tea stained. And a couple of clusters with a Tim Holtz photo booth picture and a stamp. And I stamped it again over here, so it's kind of like on both sides. Napkin collage. I'm just going to check and make sure I'm in frame. That's pretty good. Okay. There's the rest of that stationery and paper. And I just stitched a little section of an ad there. And this is from that Garden Flowers in Color book that I have, which is beautiful illustrations in there. And here's a little pocket I made out of some tea-stained parchment paper, a very dark tea-stained doily that was probably in the oven a little too long, and one of those Tim Holtz flowers, and some seeds, and my business card, which I like to include with journals that I'm selling. And yeah, 1936 is the annual, the yearbook. Nice paper. So here's a little extra writing paper. I stitched this on. I think this is part of that doily that I got a little done. And this is a book page. Put paper on both sides, and then I stitched them both at the same time. And this parchment paper, I did a zigzag all the way around, right on the edge, and I really like how that looks and feels. A little tag, this is a little card I found, like a gift tag. It's kind of cute. And an old postcard from, I think that's the London Bridge. Maybe. Here's the rest of that ledger paper. So I made a little corner tuck here, just a collage, and a little playing card inside the pocket, which kind of goes nice with the blue. Two more of those photo booth pictures, which I really love those pictures. And you can, you know, tear the edges and really kind of distress them so they look old. And then a picture of a nice looking guy sitting on the beach. No name on it. On the Make. That's a page from that sewing book, which is kind of cute. So I had a little extra jelly print paper, so I folded it over and made a pocket to put this page from a wildflower book, one of those field notes books. Some stitching, some clusters. This is a cutout from the Edith Holden book. At the time when I started making these journals, I hadn't gotten the books. I'd ordered them. So after I got them, I was looking for ways to use some of the pictures in there. They're beautiful. And this is just a wildlife card. This one's the mockingbird. So here's the second signature. Lots of blue here with stitching around the edges. And then I sewed this little bit of silk on there just to add something to make the edges kind of interesting. So here's another tag with another one of those photo booth pictures. I feel like that's kind of in keeping with the whole theme of memories and maybe thinking about old friends and journaling on the back. And this one is actually an old bill from the Darigold Milk Company. And back when people had milk delivered to their house. I'm not sure what the year of this is. Oh, 1961. But it's also blank on the back. Another photo with some sheer fabric stitched under it. This is a page from a children's book. Writing space. This is some tie-dye paper I have that my sister gave to me, and I really like the designs on it. They're printed on both sides. It's 8.5 by 11, so it's a great size to use in these journals. And so here on the other side, look at that beautiful pattern. And this is some of my beet stained paper. And some paper from Nepal. And then a little envelope I made, stitched, and inside it has one of my tags, a collage tag, that's napkin collage on there. And I love these paper clips that I got from Dee. I think I put that side on the front. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Looks like a little book. Okay, here's an envelope that was tea stained, and inside of it is a little note card. And you can open these up, which is nice. So this page folds out. So I made a little collage cluster there. And then on this side is actually a map of, I think it's a map I got of, you know, kind of a nature map of California. So it does have some nice writing space on it. And I like the color. Here I stitched a leaf skeleton underneath some sheer fabric on parchment paper. And a little flip down. And then there is a pocket in here too, if somebody wanted to put something in there. pocket. This pocket is made from a couple of layers of pattern paper glued together, and then some of that doily that I got a little burnt. And then this was one of those old-fashioned calling card. Part of it, this is the flower part, and then underneath it had the person's name. It says, "To the one I love." And then this cute little vellum card with 2 owls. It's one of those 7 Gypsies rub-ons. I like those. Napkin collage, one of my little clusters. This was a page from the Coast Guard manual about survival at sea, which I thought was kind of interesting. And then another little note card that folds up, opens up. And just a little collage, parchment paper stitched. This is part of a greeting card. And I made that into a pocket and then put this little tag in. So this is back when I was doing a lot of these collage tags. I was inspired by Artie Mays, and I liked the results of those. They were fun to make. Oh, it has a grid stamp on the back. And just a little bit of that fabric sewn on the edge here. Another rest of the envelope. This time we have a really pretty playing card. And this was a bill for Spady and Sip Sanitary Service. Kind of cute little card. Some more of that yearbook paper. It had a little bit of water damage on the edge, but I thought that didn't really matter. Magazine ad and just a little collage with some paper flowers. Isn't that pretty? And I thought it looked nice with this little cluster I made, which I actually just folded it over and stitched it down. It's the wrapper from a Cracker Jack prize. I just added a few other little things to it. The color looks really good here with that. The rest of the children's book page. Another little collage cluster. And this is some paper I get from a shop here near where I live. There's a lady that dyes the paper. It's so intense. The colors are so intense. And I love to use it every now and then. I'm kind of hoarding it, but I thought I wanted it for the blue color. A little bit of fabric sewed on there. This pocket here is part of a children's book, and then just some paper and collage. And there's a fellow artist at the vendor at the farmer's market I go to that does these acrylic pours. So she does some on bookmarks, which I thought were really pretty. So I decided to include it since it's blue. And that's it. So I will do another video just in a few minutes of the other book I just finished. Okay, thanks for watching.